So, my name is Savannah. I'm a sports reporter at the Richmond Times-Dispatch in Richmond, Virginia. And today I was hoping to do a quick little story on Jordan, a Monacan high school graduate, and
Yeah.
how she's been really a big player for you guys at Liberty this year. And I just want to ask both of you just a couple questions in general about that topic and kind of just how you've been growing at Liberty, Jordan. So, I'll start with you this
Okay.
morning. So just talk to me a little bit about when you first got to Liberty. What were maybe some adjustments you were starting to make to college basketball? And maybe what were some things you had still kind of learned you had to learn?
Yeah. So when I first got to Liberty, I was definitely new to everything, being a freshman and first time on campus. Some
Mhm.
adjustments I had to make was definitely the time schedule because, as you know, with D1 basketball, the it can be very time consuming. So just scheduling my days, making sure I'm getting all my stuff done, that was kind of a struggle for me. More of the time management part, going to
Mhm.
tutors, getting my homework done, all that stuff. And what was the second part of that question?
Yeah, just maybe some things you learned you kind of needed to learn.
Yeah, I need to learn how to manage my time for sure, and just knowing how to separate social life and basketball life in good percentages, because sometimes you maybe want to be more social, but you got to focus on basketball. And knowing my priorities was a big thing too.
What was it like to meet some of your freshman teammates that maybe were going kind of through the same things?
Yeah, it was good to know like there was also other people going through what I was going through, and I definitely have a closer bond with them, I would say, being on campus with them my first year and going through the summer workouts with them. So it's definitely helpful to have others around you who are also trying to get through the same things you're going through, because we just build each other up and help each other whenever we see we're struggling with something.
For sure. Kind of building from that, building through your first 3 years here so far, where are some aspects in basketball that you've grown and gotten better at?
I would definitely say I've grown with court vision. I feel like I see stuff differently, options, because we do watch a lot of film. I feel
Mhm.
like I've grown as a player. The change of pace is definitely different. So you got to know to change your speed and know what pace to play at, and knowing specific things about your offensive game to help the team. I think that's a big thing because in high school I was definitely like more the main scorer, the main person bringing the ball down and stuff. But now you grow into a role that they kind of give you and feed into you when you get to college. So I kind of learned that along my way here.
What drew you to commit to Liberty?
Well, I actually came here on a team camp during my high school season. I believe it was my sophomore year,
Mhm.
and we came here. I really liked the campus. I didn't know much about it, and I
Mhm.
ended up really liking the campus while we were here and getting to see the facilities and stuff. And when they started recruiting me, they were on me heavy and always communicating with me. And when I went on the visits, I really loved just everything about the environment, where the school was, the people here, the facilities, the stuff they provide for the athletes. That's what really drew me to Liberty.
And this year, it seems that you're setting career highs in so many different categories, and you're being such a big, maybe even a leadership role this year on the court. Just, what has kind of led to that? Maybe what are some things that you've done or put in to kind of help you boost your game to the next level?
Yeah, well, being a leader isn't anything new for me. I was a captain 3 years out of my 4 years at Monacan, but
Mhm.
stuff I've done to grow into my leadership is definitely being more vocal. As a younger girl with older girls ahead of me in my underclassmen years, I wasn't maybe as vocal because there were seniors ahead of me. They knew more. But
Mhm.
this year I've been trying to grow into that, being more vocal and just letting the girls know like we're here to have fun and just do your best, because sometimes all you need is a little bit of encouragement, even if it's coming from a teammate, which you should be doing every day. But I try to
Mhm.
be that person, uplifting people, letting people know this is fun. We're doing stuff that we love. So that's kind of how I've learned to grow into this leadership role that I've been given.
Absolutely. What's your favorite part about playing at Liberty?
Well, my favorite part, definitely the travel. I know
Mhm.
sometimes it can get a little long because we have those 4-day trips, but the travel allows us to bond with our teammates because that's all we're there doing. It's a business trip really, so we're there, we're eat, sleep, practice, shoot around. So that's been one of my favorite parts for sure, and definitely visiting these different schools. I haven't been to a lot of out of state schools, so
Mhm.
I'm getting to see some new experiences. Like I just went to where we're going to New Mexico State. I've
Mhm.
never been there. I've never been to Louisiana. So just experiencing these different states with these people that I've been around every day, I
Mhm.
learned something new about someone every different trip, which I really like.
Love to hear it. And you've fully moved into that starter role this year. You've been putting in so many minutes, and last I checked, you have the most minutes on the team. Just to be in that starter role, what is maybe something different about that, and maybe what is something that you've kind of had to learn about being a starter?
Yeah, the expectations are definitely different versus coming off the bench and being a starter. I definitely learned me specifically as a starter and as a point guard, I have to set the tone for the team because
Mhm.
they do fall under the leadership of me while on the court. And as a starter, I've learned to just really play into hone into my role and do what I need to do
Mhm.
every game because that's what they're going to need out of me. Because if I'm a starter and I'm not getting it done, then who else is going to get it done? So that's kind of what I've learned as becoming a starter this year.
You're only a junior. How do you keep improving and keep getting better heading into the rest of this year plus your senior season next year?
Yeah, just continuing to work on my game, watching film, and learning from the coaches is how I continue to grow. They
Mhm.
teach us a lot. They know a lot more than us. So I'm always open to learning new
Learning,
things
learning,
and taking
taking
criticism from
criticism
them
from you.
because
Because
that's what at the
that's
end of the
what
day what's going to help me. If I can't be a good person, I can't be a person that can take criticism. I'm not willing to learn anything that's not going to get help me grow and be where I need to be. So.
Do you, how do you kind of balance all the offense, of a point guard on top of making sure your defense is refined?
Yeah, the balance I feel like is kind of easy, making sure we're doing what we're doing on offense. Even if sometimes it doesn't work out, you can always do it on defense. So making sure that balance is there, knowing my personnel, knowing who I'm
Mhm.
guarding, knowing where I need to be at the right time. Awareness, we talk about that a lot. Coach Green will probably tell you, but being locked in is what really helps me both on offense and on defense. Because offense may not always work out, but defense, you can always do something. Yeah.
For sure. And maybe just my last question for you is maybe what are some things you learned
things you learned
through your
through your
time
time.
at Monacan in high school basketball that kind of definitely helped you transition a little better into college life?
Yeah, Monacan, I was playing under Larry Starr, so he definitely taught me a lot of discipline, I would say for sure. A lot of mental mental toughness because some of those practices were hard, but I
Mhm.
think it also taught me wanting the will to work because we'd go in day out running and doing all this stuff and you may question why are we doing this? Why are we running so much? But knowing that this work will be put into me to help me be something better was really how it helped me transition to that college level because college is very intense. It's a different type of play. So I would say that's what really helped me, that mental toughness and that going through adversity in high school. That's what really helped me get where I am today.
And then being a leader in high school on that team too, how did that kind of help you establish some of your leadership qualities that you're using now at Liberty?
Yeah, it exposed me to some stuff that I maybe needed to work on while I was in high school. I'm like, hey, I think one day one of my assistant coaches, Les, got on me and was like, we need you to be more vocal. I'm a very goofy person, as some may know. So she was like, sometimes you can't be laughing with the girls. You got to show them your serious side. So it kind of exposed me to stuff that I needed to work on in high school. And I was able to get that stuff out and know what I need to do better. So when
Mhm.
it translated to college now, where I'm in this leadership role, it's almost come easy to me and it's also as a point guard, that's just something you got to do. Because, like I said, you're the leader on the court. You're the one that's keeping everyone in charge. So that's what really helped me transition that into college. Yeah.
Awesome. And coach, kind of flipping to you a little bit, just, what drew Jordan to you? What really stuck out about her to you?
Well, first of all, talent. She was a winner. I've seen her lead a team, um, very effectively lead a team, and very effectively have an impact on the court, scoring, passing. Um, those were the main things there. And I like to keep Virginia girls in the state and still let them slip out of the state. Um, and especially if they're a close knit family and her family's close knit and a 2 hour or less than 2 hour drive is not too bad with all the transitioning we have with cars and cell phones and Zoom and all these things, keeping her close to home,
Mhm.
I think was important to her as well as it was to us. So it was a good fit. And I've seen her. I mean, why would you not want a state MVP, state champion? And it was just a good, I guess you would call it a marriage, I thought. And for all the right reasons. She's very talented, great personality, and a leader, and one of the best shooters I've ever had. I mean, she's got beautiful form when she shoots, and can knock down shots. And she likes pressure shots. She's willing to take them, and she just finished up like one of her last games on the free throw line. I don't know if I want anybody else other than her and two or three other players on the foul line at the end of the game. They can really hurt their opponents.
Absolutely. And where have you kind of seen her game grow and improve since she's been here at Liberty?
Just listening to her, my comments to her, and hopefully she understands this, Savannah, my comments are based on high expectations for the team and specifically for her when I'm speaking to her. But I really believe these expectations are attainable, and I have all the confidence in her to do that. So
Mhm.
listening to her, let me back up.
Yeah.
It's great to hear her. I just think that she was an average person. She's not the one that has to be in the middle of the dance floor dancing. And for her to be stretched into this role is sort of a God thing. I think she's very capable of it, but God stretches us, and only when we're stretched and doing things we naturally don't want to do, that's when we're used most, and to honor and glorify Him. And for her, it's been that it's easy for her, like all of us, just to sit back and let somebody else do it. But now she's understanding the role of her being stretched,
Mhm.
for her to be growing, for us to grow. And so it's exciting to hear that. She's just fun loving, just likes to go through life, and doesn't have to be having the spotlight on her. But that's not where we need her. She needs to step forward, and she's accepting that role. It'll always be a challenge for all of us when we're out of our comfort zone, but I want her to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And she's starting to do that really well. And it's been exciting for me just to watch her journey and watch her grow. And this is her like first time at bat. I mean, she's been on the team, but she's a starter now.
Right.
Okay. And to see her growing into that role, because I think she'll say it's not natural for her to bark out there at teammates. It's sort of because she's petite, she's very talented, but you overlook her. I mean, there's a 6'5", 6'6" walking around, you don't see her. And then she is accepting her role and stepping up in her leadership and being more vocal, because that's I think that's against her own natural tendency.
Mhm.
But she sees that I'm confident and I got high expectations in her. And she's been trained by Larry Starr, so I know she's going to be okay. I don't think I can bark or bite as bad as Larry Starr. And, that's another reason I wanted her here. And I love her family. I love her mom. Wow. I mean, some of my best conversations in recruiting has been with her mom, and her mom is so level-headed, and she's tough too. She's tough. And we just sort of, it's been a good, she just fits. Our families fit together. Her
Mhm.
family and the Liberty family fit together. And we're excited to have her here and see her grow. So I went pretty far down the road to Savannah with your question. So I don't know if I opened up any other questions, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. And I always appreciate longer answers. It gives me a lot more to talk about. So,
Okay.
all means, talk all you want. But I was also going to ask, what kind of led to you making her a starter? Did something happen, maybe between her sophomore season and her junior season that really, was eye-opening, was like, okay, she's ready for the role?
Yeah. She has to show that she's ready for the role. She's got to earn it.
Yeah.
And uh, uh, I think every player that comes, they always want more minutes to play. I'm sure she wanted more minutes to play, but when she's out there, like any player, she's got to prove herself while she's out there. And our philosophy, she's seen it, she's been part of it. It's just her time to step up. She's
Mhm.
been riding in the front seat, but it's time for her to drive. And that's
Mhm.
scary sometimes, you get behind the wheel for the first time. And we've thrown her to the wolves. I mean, we've played against some of the best teams in the country. We've played Tennessee, we've played Texas, we've played Louisville, we've played Alabama. We've played some really tough teams and tough teams on the road. So she's not going to go against any tougher people than she's already gone against. She
Mhm.
better respect them all, but it's been on the job training for her. But I got off on it rabbit trail here. We like to play our young players, especially non-conference. We
Mhm.
want to try to start grooming them for their opportunities. And, she's no different than any other freshman. There's these adjustments and transitions that they all go through, and she's gone through it. And it's just her turn. So it was her turn to step up and lead. Um, and she's certainly done a good job of that. It's just how we go. Savannah, if you look at our program, it's not like we win 25 games and next year we win 3. We've been
Mhm.
right there averaging about 23 wins a year. So it's been a system of playing and developing players, and by the time they're senior year or junior year in this case here, they're ready to step up. She's not the only one. I mean, she's got a teammate that they came in
Yeah.
together. Didn't you and Bella come in together? Is that right?
No, me and Emma came in together.
Okay, came in together. Bella, our current post player, she was on the bench getting some playing time, just like um, Jordan was last year. Now Bella's, it's her stardom time, and she's in the limelight, and start time for her to be out there. So it's uh, even though they're in different classes, Bella and Jordan has sort of followed the same trajectory into
Mhm.
the starting role.
For sure. Well, and then Jordan, maybe flipping it back to you, Coach mentioned how maybe it wasn't a role, wasn't fun to step up in, or, there was some hesitation there. Like, what was it like for you personally to step into that role and kind of like take the car and start driving?
Yeah, I think Coach Green hit it on the head. Like, I'm not one to want to be in the spotlight or, like he said, bark at a teammate. But if
Mhm.
that's what needs to be done, I'm gonna always step in to do that, because at the end of the day, like you said, I like to win. I'm a competitor, and whatever I got to do to make us better, I'm gonna do it. So that's me having to bark at a teammate or yell orders on the court. I'm gonna do it, because at the end of the day, it may not be who I am, but on the court, you're a different person. You're playing basketball. You're trying to win championships, stuff like that. So stepping into that role, like I said, was easy, but definitely God's gonna put you in places that you're uncomfortable. So you got to learn to be comfortable. So yeah.
For sure. Well, thank you guys so much for taking your time to talk with me this morning. Is there anything else you'd like to add, or do either of you have any questions for me at all?
I'm certainly glad to have Jordan here. I got high expectations, and I know that she can obtain them. I'm confident. I know it. And we need her out there. And Savannah, tell me about yourself a little bit.
Of course. I'm Savannah. I'm 22. I started at the Richmond Times-Dispatch in June. I was an intern and I was promoted to a full-time reporter following my internship in August. And I graduated from James Madison in May 2023, where I majored in journalism and minored in sports communication and political science.
But I
Nice.
mean, Savannah, you look 16. I'm saying that as a compliment. Okay. I thought, wow, is this a high school reporter here?
It's
You
so
look so
funny.
young.
I've
And
heard that so much these last few days, actually. That's so funny.
well, congratulations on your opportunity there. And I'm really truthfully when I said this, you're really amazing. You had some good questions. So you're deep into the subject. And
Thank you. I appreciate it. I was a little worried that they weren't maybe too deep enough, so I'm happy to hear that.
oh,
No, definitely a good interview.
you did a
Awesome.
great
Thank you
job.
guys. I appreciate it.
Hey,
Um,
did
I
you
hope, I hope you
go
guys have
ahead.
a great rest of your day too. And good luck with your next game. I think, and enjoy the time off for the time being.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have a slower week this week. Where's home for you though? Where's home?
I grew up in Northern Virginia in Leesburg, Virginia. I went to Tuscarora High School. So not too far away from here. My parents are JMU alums. So I grew up like going to the Valley and going to games like that. So that's kind of how I ended up at JMU.
What got you in sports?
So my parents are big Capitals fans for hockey. And so I grew up watching hockey all the time. And I knew I always I never had issues with public speaking. I love to talk and I love to write. I've always loved to write. English classes were my favorite. I love creative writing. And so when it came time to it, I knew I wanted to be in sports. I didn't know where for a little while, but then I ended up running, okay, I love to write. I love sports. Let's try journalism. And so I was sports editor for 2 years at my student paper. And then I ended up becoming a managing editor my last year there to help some other stuff. And so then I've always just been into sports writing. And so it kind of transitioned pretty easily post grad.
Yeah.
Nice.
It looks like you're in a happy place right now. So good. Congratulations. Hey, did by any chance this guy and Jordan may remember him, Vic Dorr? He was at
I think I might know that name. My coworker probably knows a little more than I do.
Okay, he was in sports there at the Dispatch. Jordan, did you ever know him?
The name does sound familiar, but it's been so long since I've been back at home and worked with the paper. So
Savannah, I know he may be at least retired for 10 years, at least. He may be longer than that. So I didn't know. And the last time I think he may have had some health issues too. But thanks again, Savannah.
Appreciate it. Please let me know if you guys ever need anything.
Yes, thank you, Savannah.
And good luck this weekend.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Savannah.
Bye.
You too. Bye.